All right, so let's get onto the sophomore, junior, and senior year in high school. You're wrestling. I'm hoping you at least made it. You had a chance to try to make it back to the state tournament, right?
Yeah, my sophomore year was kind of a bust. There was just a lot of things going on with me, grade wise, and everything. I was still on the team up until grades came out again, and then I kind of fell off. Our assistant coach, Patrick Klee, I was really, really close to him. A lot of the guys were, ended up killing himself.
Wow.
That was a big blow, just because I've never had anybody that be that close to me. Like, my grandmother and everything like that. When I was little, they passed and stuff, but not someone who I saw every day, not someone who interacted with me, and not someone who cared that much outside of my family. And that was just a really big blow to a lot of us. And, he was kind of at the time, he was kind of the second head coach. The head coach at the time had his good kids that, his kids that he's had for, 4 years, 3 years. And, here comes, the younger guys who, are trying to find their way into the fold. And it's just, he was just kind of like the second head coach and really mentored us and everything like that. So, when he killed himself, it was a really, really, really big blow to us. And the team and everything like that. So,
and it sounds like it affected your. I'm not just saying your performance on the mat, but your grades and everything, right?
Yeah, and it was just, he was that one of a kind coach that would take the shirt off his back, would give you his house if he could, just take care of you. He introduced us to his girlfriend and her kids, and we ended up going over there, hanging out with them and stuff like that. And he was going to marry this woman, and he just took his life. And that was just a really, really big shock to all of us. And, we just, when we heard it, for me, I've driven in the car with him several times. So when I heard he had passed, I was like, you got into a wreck. I was like, I know how you drive. And I was just like, damn it. You drove too fast. But then when I heard he killed himself, it was like, that's not the way. That's not how we were, that's not how he was supposed to go out.
Wow.
And the crazy part about that was our assistant coach, Jeff Miller, volunteer firefighter, got the call.
Oh, wow.
And
wow.
When they called, he said, that address sounds familiar. And when he got to the house, he said, I know that guy. And that was just really, really hard on him. And it was hard on us. And it really was. And it was just crazy. And on a side note, kind of a spooky thing, the night it happened, like I said, I didn't know about it until the next morning, but the night it happened, I kind of woke up in the middle of the night and I saw something walk across my room. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I got up that morning and I asked my mom, I said, were you in my room last night? And she's like, no. I asked my brother, so were you in the room? They said, no. I said, okay. Went to school, heard that news. And, and I'm with one of my teammates and friends, and we're talking, and I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, I think he, I'm not a spiritual, I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not into ghosts and stuff like that. I said, I think he walked and was looking over me. Huh. And I was just like, I was kind of freaked, but at the same time I was like, dude, like that's Pat, that's Coach, checking over us to make sure, hey, you're good. You're okay. You're good.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, that was a devastating blow that year. And it wasn't a good year. My junior year was another kind of I was on it. Winning tournaments, stuff like that. And middle of December, actually, no, it was beginning of January, I quit.
Huh.
I just said to myself, and I hope no one kind of quits wrestling because of what I'm about to say, but it was like, I said to myself, I said, why am I doing this? I said, why am I putting my body through this? Why am I putting my body through this for a medal or for a piece of plastic? I said, what? This makes no sense. And I quit. And both my coaches, Coach Lesho and Coach Larkey, they're like, dude, you're on a roll. Like, this doesn't make sense. Why are you quitting? And I just said, I've been doing this for, since 8th grade. It was my junior year. I was like, I'm not into it. So, they let me quit very reluctantly. And then Jamie called me. He said, hey, I said, how are you feeling? I said, I'm all right. But I kind of knew what the call was. I was like, but I'm not coming back. I'm all right, but I'm not coming back. And he said, hey, I pitched you in the AVC tournament. I go, well, I'm not wrestling in it. So you can look there. He goes, no, just listen. He goes, I pitch you in to see where they would seed you at, just because. And he goes, they pitch you at 6th place. I said, oh, really? He said, yeah. He goes, do me a favor. He goes, come back, wrestle that tournament. After that, you can quit. Wrestle that one tournament. And if you don't have the passion and you don't want to wrestle, I will leave you alone. And I'm a person, and I respect the hell out of Jamie. I love him to death. And I said, okay. So I came back, practiced for a week. And then the next week was OVACs. And I came back, and the fire just lit back. And it was like, I ended up not placing, but I was like, let's go. And
so I thought you were going to say you won the whole thing or something. That lit the fire. So you didn't even place, but your coach was smart enough to know that maybe you just needed to get out there,
exactly.
Step back on the mat and fall in love with the sport again or something.
Yeah, I wish I can say I went back out there, beat up everybody, pinned everybody all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
But no, I was just like, let's go, and it was states. It was like, let's get there. And I had the passion, I had the fire, and and he was just on me. And I kind of we were in kind of like an impasse a little bit with the team in general. And we had a wrestler from Burgestown who came to Madonna. Burgestown, PA, came from Madonna. His name is Brad Nicka. Really cool dude, really good wrestler. If there was a picture of a perfect wrestler that had the look, Brad had the look, hands down. And that was kind of his best shot for a state title was Brad. And stuff. So, he kind of put all of his eggs with Brad. And like I said, going back with Patrick, with being kind of the second head coach, right. The rest of us were kind of lost. So, the team kind of chose me, the shy person who didn't like speaking to anybody. Hey, go talk to coach and tell him how we all feel. And I was like, I just got back on the team. Well, why me? And it was like, no, like he'll listen to you and he won't yell at you. Maybe because I'm black, I don't know what it might be, but it was like he won't say anything. Like he'll talk to you, but yes, the rest of us won't. So I was like, all right. So I went up to him, right after the OVC tournament. And I said, hey, the guys feel like you're all about Brad. I said, the rest of us kind of feel like we're just here. And and we talked for about a good, I think, like 30 minutes. And he was like, thanks for coming and telling me. He goes, because you're right. That's he goes, I didn't realize I was doing it until someone said I was doing it. And, that's where we kind of really bond, just the closeness and respect that I had for him, the admiration I had for him and stuff. And so,
it sounds like your team, even though you just got back, like you said, they looked at you like a leader. The silent leader sometimes are the best leaders, right? Yeah. They said, you get out there and you do this. I don't think they were even throwing you under the bus. I think they were just, they knew what you were capable of.
Yeah. And, and that's just something that I just never, I was just like, why me? Like, I'm, in my own head, I'm this short person who doesn't say anything, who doesn't try to rattle anything, and less provoked. But, they just was like, go talk with him and go, say that. And I'm just like, okay. And I went with him, I talked with him. We had a good talk. He kind of refocused as a coach. I kind of refocused as a wrestler, and we went rolling during the season. Ended up going to regionals, taking third, qualifying for state, and went to state, made it to the blood round, I do believe, and just again just couldn't make it. Couldn't make it to place, but it was an experience, and I looking back, I kind of wish I didn't take that week off, but I needed that week to miss it. I needed that week to kind of refocus.